Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Dragoon. My name's Cody, and in the last exciting episode we went through the Forbidden Ruins and we're currently looking for the Dragon Block Staff, which was hidden in here. But rather than a Dragon Block Staff, instead what we've been finding is little dancing enemies who think that they're so great. So at the moment we've run across this Colosseum, or the ruins of a Colosseum, and basically the story here is that it's a Colosseum, but it wasn't for regular fights, it was for matches to the death. The Winglies, sat up there looking judgmental and racist like they always do, and watching the lesser races fight each other to the death, because when they ruled the world they were not particularly nice, and that's why they're currently in hiding. Meru had nothing to do with that. She's still relatively young. I mean, I forget how old she actually is. It's probably like 60-ish or something like that, but like in the context of like 11,000 years, she's a young Wingly. So she had nothing to do with this. She's just sort of been living in a forest her entire life of Winglies hiding out. So yeah, everyone's telling Meru that it's fine. Like no one's blaming you for all the genocides. So rather than progressing, we're going to go back. And the reason for this is that I missed an item. I'll see you in a second. And here we are. We went back through there last time, but I didn't go through here thinking this was the way out, but in fact this is the way to the item. So, and if I recall, this item's pretty nice, so let's have a look. Dancer's Shoes. This is a nice item. I think we may or may not have one of these already, but you can see the men can't wear it. I guess it's in these guys' size. It increases speed, which they call agility in the description, but what they mean is speed. 55 to 75. You can see Kongol already has a bandit's ring to increase his speed, but unfortunately he can't wear dancer's shoes. I'm going to give this to Meru to give her a ridiculous speed. Like, she's got a speed of 90 right now. Albert has a speed of 40. She's going to move more than twice as many times as. But that's all part of my cunning plan, because I need to train her. I need to train her additions right now, because since she's a recent addition to the party, relatively, her additions are not trained up, which means that she won't be able to get her final addition, which is really, really nice, and does like an absurd amount of damage to make up for her low physical attack. It's if I can train her up to do that, it's going to make things a lot less hassle in the end. We've got some new enemies here. This is Fairy. It's light type. You can see from the color of their things that Peacock is a ground type. That doesn't make any difference in regular physical attacks unless you have some sort of elemental weapon, but it makes a difference in Dragoon attacks. Like the opposite of the light element is Rose's darkness element. So if Rose just does a regular attack in this form, it will be of the darkness element. Or she could use Death Dimension, which is overkill, but why not? We haven't seen it in a while.
Death Dimension. Be gone.
It wasn't overkill because it was only a 25% attack, but it's overkill in the sense that these regular enemies aren't something that are worth wasting your money over, wasting your mana over, not money. So this pup is now fearful, which means that it takes twice as much damage and does half as much damage. You can think of it as sort of like a burning Pokemon almost, except with some extra stuff. So yeah, let's just finish off this fairy with a bit more overkill, with a perfect position. And his position. Yeah, that fairy did not stand a chance. Alright, so let's get back. Let's get back to where we were. Alright, here we are. I had Rose and Kongol here just to show them off, but currently the two people I'm working on training are Albert and Meru. Let me just take the bandit ring from Kongol to give to Albert. So he has a respectable 60 speed. She has 90, and Dart is there with 50. He's currently the slowest, but that's okay because I'm not that interested in training his additions. And what that means is that, so they've got a speed relative to each other and they've got a speed relative to enemies. So Mary's 90 speed might mean that she moves a whole bunch of times. She won't necessarily get the first attack, but if you sort of, over a long battle, you count the attacks, you'll be like, hold on, these don't add up. These faster, smaller enemies might have more attacks, and Meru might, move twice before, like, Kongol gets a move. Which, she doesn't do much damage, but I need to train up this hammer spin and her other one because, yeah, as mentioned before, she has a really nice pilot. Let's get this. I was going to say let's do this one properly, but I've just Albert's Flower Storm / Blossom Storm is very difficult to master, and I had mastered it back in the old days, but now I sort of have to remember again. Let's do this. I was so close. I was so close. I think there was only that might have been the last one, or there were one or two more, and we would have nailed that addition. Alright, so let's continue on. Up here we go. And we're just sort of going through all of the portals here. I guess this sort of makes sense. It's kind of like an elevator situation. It makes sense for at the time. It just isn't very helpful to us. Like 11,000 years later, why couldn't they have designed around that? Why weren't they thinking? So this takes us to a very nice place. And by a very nice place, what I mean is, you can see that fully healed everyone. And as a save point, so basically this is the grinding area. This is like, let's level up all of our characters area. So that's very nice for us, because as I think I mentioned before, the enemy at the end of here, it gave me no end of trouble. And here we come across, so this is a bit of an optional boss area. But basically this is about mythology. So you can see, let me get this right. So this is the order. This is about the order that. No, that's not right. Luckily, it doesn't reset things. This is the order of the species that that they were created, and I didn't get it right a few times, so they've come out to help the thinking members of our party. So yeah, this is yeah, it's not a mere blind alley. It's Hashel, don't just punch it. Hashel, this is a puzzle. And you know, I know Alexander the Great was famous for his approach to puzzles, which is much similar to that, but it won't help in this situation because this is a race of magical angel creatures. So yeah, this is important exposition because if I hadn't told you, there would have been no way you would have just known. But I lost track of which one I was at. So I think it might be, yeah, the little gnomey people. And then I think it's whatever these guys are. And then over here is humans. And then the final one created, according to their mythology, or close to it, were Winglies. And this will take us to a great, fantastic new place in the next exciting episode of Dragoon Ball Z. See you then.